So this story comes from across the pond.
Well, give me 2 seconds. Okay.
Ooh, fuck. So this happened in England.
Ooh, blimey.
Pretty recently, actually.
Crikey.
Rip. Okay. So this is the story of this girl, and for sake of, not sharing her name, we'll say her name is Maggie. I don't know. So, she lives in a smaller town outside of London, but she works in London. She has to take the train every day to get to work early in the morning and vice versa every evening. Now, the train schedule is so much, she said, that like if she misses the last train, she's basically screwed. Like she'll end up having to stay there in London. And it usually works out perfectly. So when she gets off of work, she's able to just go straight to the train, get on, and get home. However, one day she ends up stuck in a conference meeting. And by the time the conference meeting is over, she realizes she's missed 2 train cycles. So she goes straight from this meeting when she's done to the train station, trying to catch, at this point, what is going to be the last train home.
The midnight train.
Yeah. The midnight train. With that being said, it is that midnight train, and there aren't a whole lot of people taking it because it's the end of the line. So she's at the end of the line. She's going to have to get on and ride it all the way to this little town that she lives in. End of the line in the city anyways. So she gets to this train station, and there's no one there. She just sits down in the little like waiting area next to where the train pulls up or whatever. What is that called?
The dock.
The dock?
The dugout.
The dugout?
The
waiting station.
The infantry.
Huh?
I can't remember, dude.
Yeah.
But there's a name for it.
The station.
The station. Sure, let's go with
stop.
that. The stop. She's waiting there at the stop, sitting on a bench, just all by herself. Now, what she does is she's sitting there. She's, okay, I'm waiting. She gets a little hungry. She gets up, goes over. There's like these vending machines that are around the corner. She goes and gets herself something, and she kind of turns around and sees this guy just standing there, but not like close, kind of like 50 yards away, kind of at one of the little pillars in the middle of the station stop. He's like wearing neon green shoes, she said, with a white tracksuit with blue stripes.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, I know.
But she respects the distance.
She respects the distance, and she respects the fit.
Yeah, that's specific.
Yeah, I know. I remember because the neon green shoes got me. I was like, what the
Like
fuck?
Virgil?
He's wearing Yeezy Season 6. He's got them Balenciagas on.
Yep. So she just kind of like stares at him for a second, and then reaches down to go and pick up her candy that she just got out of the vending machine. And as she stands up, he's closer to her now.
Oh, gosh.
And he's just kind of standing there, not really looking at her or anything. It's like he naturally moved to where he is now. She picks the candy up, goes back to her bench and sits down. And then she looks back at where he is, and he's not there again. And he's standing now by the corner where the vending machines are. And he's just standing there and not looking at her, but like looking where the train's going to pull up. She kind of thinks this is weird. She kind of smiles at him, like trying to be nice, right?
Yeah.
So that probably less creepy for her. And no smile back. He doesn't even notice her. Then she kind of sits down. She's like playing music on her phone or whatever.
Well, she's that kind of person.
Yeah.
So she's tonguing. She's a Polly.
And it puts her headphones back in as she's listening to music. And then the train pulls up. And since it's the end of the line, I guess the conductor has to get out and then go back to the other end so that they can take it the other way now. So there's kind of this
I didn't know that,
adjustment
dude.
thing. Yeah. So what happens is like the train's empty. No one's getting on this midnight train going home. She gets on one of the cars and he follows her. And she sits kind of in the corner space. He sits down on the opposite corner, like kitty corner her. And then she kind of looks at him because now she's kind of creeped out, right?
Because he could have chose any other car.
He could have chose any other car. And this time he's looking at her, but like smiling. Just kind of like a creepy smile is what she said. As he sits down, she's like, nope, gets up, leaves the car, and goes to a completely different car at the opposite end of the train.
Okay, this is the deciding thing.
Good for her.
Good
and
move.
the doors close.
Okay.
So he's not on this car. Now they take off, they're headed home, and as they're like going, she's kind of sitting there listening to music, watching the country scenery go by. It's dark. It's just kind of a nice ride for her. And her phone's basically out of battery at this point because she's been listening to music and hasn't had a chance to charge her phone since the morning when she left for work. But at this point, she realizes battery's low, takes her headphones out, puts them in her pocket, puts her phone in her pocket, and hears the creak of the door from the other car. And like at this point, she's like, what is going on? She turns around and she sees him, this guy, coming into her car and sitting down kind of in that kitty corner spot again. And he's facing away from her, but she's kind of like really freaked out at this point. They get to a stop. The doors open. No one's there. They close and they keep going. He's still on the train. And all of a sudden, she sees him looking at her again with just a really creepy smile again. And then he turns around, looks away from her. At this point, she's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. He turns around and looks at her again and smiles, just holding the smile.
I hate that he keeps like turning around, smiling, turning back, turning around.
This
smiling.
time he keeps it. Like he keeps looking at her for probably a solid minute and a half. She's like, hey, what do you want? Doesn't say anything. He turns back around and this time she pulls her phone out, opens the camera with flash on, and she just holds it. The next time he turns around, she turns the camera where she hits the take picture. It flashes at him and he like goes down really fast, like his face to hide his face from the camera. And she's like, there you go. I'm sending that to all the people in my contacts. Like they're going to all know who you are. They're waiting for you at the end of the line.
Damn.
And then her phone dies. But as she's like saving this message in her phone, because she's like saving the photo in like a text message, and the title is, "This is the man who killed me." Like she's preparing for that. And then they get to the next stop, doors open, and he gets off. And this is the point where she's like, that's right, bitch. Get off this car. I got people down at the end of the line waiting for you, stuff like that. And he just gets off. And she's like feeling super like hard at this point. And then the doors close. Train takes off. She just starts breaking down and crying because she had no idea what was going to happen. This dude's just creeping on her. End of the story is she makes it home okay. Never sees this guy again.
That was so smart. I was not thinking about that.
Bro, no other choices, bro. Because, like, there's two possible... Like, if you take a picture, what if that, like, set him off, you know, and he runs over and... I would be afraid to do that.
Yeah, but...
That could happen.
At some point, I feel like I was going to fight him anyway. So, why not just get documentation of him?
Yep.
Because the first thing I think of is, like, something to fight with. So you're like, she pulled out her phone. I'm like, what?
Is she going to fight with her phone?
Yeah.
Dang. Bro. Oh, the inching closer to you thing terrifies me.
Yeah, it's just like messing with people that is just kind of terrifying. Like someone really
It's cat and mouse, dude.
Yeah. People, creepers, get off on that, dude.
It's true.
There's a short on YouTube. I think it's called The Smiling Man.
Oh, yeah.
And it's one of the first horror shorts I saw on YouTube. And when I first saw it, there was a part where it creeped me out. And I had like crazy chills.
Do you call it goose pimples, chicken skin, or goosebumps?
Chicken skin. And people in Hawaii call it chicken skin. And there's like our version of
Bro, we should have called this
Goosebumps?
podcast. We should have called this podcast Chicken Skin Dog.
chicken skin. Yeah, there was like local scary stories in a book, and it was called Chicken Skin.
Dang, dude.
Almost like they ripped it off like R.L. Stein or something.
That's hilarious.
That's
It's like the pigeon version of
Chicken
Goosebumps.
skin.
And then the guy came in when mocked the other dude.
Yeah. The dude get mocked. But what were you saying about the Smiley Man?
No, it just reminded me of that because in the short,
Your
There's a-
story reminded me of the Smiley Man.
really?
Yeah.
Because the whistling guy coming
Yeah.
up the road. That's what I thought of first.
Yeah. You know what Sean's reminded me of?
Huh.
You ever seen that meme where it's like the person with the camera and they keep moving it back and forth and the cat is closer
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
until the kitten's like right here?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Bro.
They look away, come back, the cat's closer. Yeah.
Look up scary dude on a bus.
Scary,
This is who I kept thinking of.
scary dude.
That one. This is who I
Oh, fuck, dude.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah, that would be kind of terrifying to see.